talking to you again. Gary, just want to kick off with a young Irish youngster there, Aidomo Emakhu. He seems to be getting a good few minutes so far at the start of the season, 23 minutes there the last day. Do you really see this maybe as a breakout year for him in terms of the first team, in terms of being involved in the match day squad on a continuous basis this year, and maybe even starting a few games? Do you think this could be the year he makes his real progression in terms of the championship?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a great opportunity for him. I think there's definitely going to be a lot of minutes played by him this year. I think that, for him, he's got international ambitions as well. Firstly to try and get in the under-21 squad, but then the full squad. I think he showed some brilliant signs that he can beat people. He's got blistering pace. He can finish off both feet as well. And his attitude's been terrific, and I think that's one of the main reasons why he's been involved with us, and he'll continue to be involved with us. So yeah, I think it's going to be a big season for him. I'm loath to put too much pressure on a young player, because obviously there's so many things that can be a factor. But he's certainly made a very, very good start from being a player that probably would have gone out on loan this season to being a player that can feature heavily for us. I think is a really, really good step for him.
I suppose, Gary, the two wins were good, solid wins, 1-0 sort of victories in terms of that. When you look at the start of the season, obviously, to be on 6 points, you must be sort of pleased enough with that sort of start. But would you have liked a few more goals in terms of the goal ratio? Would you have liked to have seen a few more goals at the start of the season?
Yeah, I think you always want more goals. I mean, we've had, if I look back to the Middlesbrough game, we had 3, 4, 5 chances very early on to create those moments. I think against Bristol, not so many, but we still had chances. Against Stoke at the weekend, we had some chances first half. So yeah, look, I think goals come with good performances. I'm never too concerned. We're not a high scoring, free scoring type of team. That's really not kind of what we're about. But we also don't concede massive amounts of goals. So of course you want that balance to be a little bit higher in terms of the goals scored.
Has George Honeyman's...
Well, I've experienced players wanting to leave, and I've experienced different sides to that, where a player thinks a move's been denied for him, and of course they react badly in some occasions. I've never had a player refuse to play. I think the challenge to that is, a club wouldn't refuse to pay a player's wages, would they, if that was the situation? So it's a really difficult one. I think what goes on behind the scenes sometimes for a manager is easier to keep behind the scenes. But there's all sorts of things that I've seen. I've seen moves fall through literally at 1 minute to 11 on a transfer deadline day. I've seen players agree to join and then sign for someone else half an hour later. I've seen players walk out of a medical and disappear. So I've seen lots of different things, and I think most managers will have done. I haven't had a player refuse to play yet. So that's hopefully something I don't ever have to tick off one of my experiences. So yeah, but look, I'm sure most managers could say lots of different stories and scenarios of. You're dealing with people, you're dealing with, real life issues that affect everyone, and some are tougher to deal with than others, that's for sure.
And just on Birmingham City, I know Phil touched on it a bit in terms of the vibe and the positivity. But in terms of sometimes you did it in Millwall, you found an amazing player in Zion Fleming. It seems to be like Birmingham has sort of found that sort of gem in Kojo Miyoshi. This year, very little sort of known about him in terms of the past, but he seems to have a big sort of influence now in the sort of Birmingham team as a sort of the link man, that sort of playmaker, and he could be the find of the season so far in the championship.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, they've got a good recruitment team. I know a member of my staff that I'm very close with works there, so I'm sure they've done. It doesn't surprise me that they're doing some good work in terms of bringing that type of player in. He looks a really bright player. He looks a very good player. He looks like a player that can affect the championship. I think they got him on a free transfer.